Hi guys, I decided to sort of do this new series on Rome 2, and it'll be not actual gameplay but more of like a log of what happened. So I've been playing now, let's check for how many years. If we click load, we started in, I think it was something like 273, I think, BC. So we've been playing for about 80 years now. So I'll first go and cover what I have done so far. So we're now in 192 BC. In this 70 years, let's resume game, I have managed to conquer all of this area. So at the beginning I conquered all of this. And then, well, first I conquered these two provinces. And I declared the war on Macedonians, who had expanded all the way to there. So they had these four cities. And when I declared war on them, the Atheni declared war on me. Because they were allies with me, but they were allies with Macedonians as well. So all of a sudden I was like my capital, in a sense, was split off from the rest of my land because I had an enemy who constantly kept attacking Sparta. So I rushed all my armies and just destroyed the Macedonians. And once that was done, I had to come back, reconquer Sparta, and conquer Atheni, which was really hard. This city is extremely fortified. As you can see, it has 13 units guarding it and 3 ships. So it's a really tough city to attack, especially if there's some additional armies around it.
The gods have brought me to you.
But I managed somehow. Oh, it toggles it. Once I had done that, I decided to venture out. So I conquered the... Sorry for low frames. The game really gets slow when units start moving. You know, I couldn't even see him. Then I captured this to finish the whole province. So I had 3 of the cities, which was the capital, Athia, and Odessos, and all I was short was on Navisos. So that was controlled by natives. So I just took them, and then I thought like, expanding this way looked sort of far, really big distance. So I decided not to. Since now I had Atheni, I decided to start doing all the trades, because this was like my first trade port city. This one for some reason though did not allow me to trade from the start once I conquered it. So once I had this, I started establishing trade routes. So the first people I established was Egypt, but they've been killed ever since then. So Egyptians got killed off and now controlled by someone else. I started like doing lots of trade routes. So far I think the only guys who don't like me are the Romans for some reason. I had to bribe them to get my trade route, and that also once I got much richer. As you can see, I have a lot of trade routes. All this yellow line represents where my trade ships go. Oh yeah, I do have trade line there. So I have a massive trade line going all the way. I think one of my second partner was Carthage in my trade. So I think that's the reason Romans never really liked me, since I had a partnership with Carthage and Romans hate Carthage. Makes sense. After I established my trade route, I was getting some income from them. The way trade works is, the longer you're trade partners, the more you earn. So if you're looking at Carthage, I'm earning quite a bit. these guys are mining a lot just because they just have so many resources. But on average, I'm not earning too much. I'm not making fortunes from anyone other than these rich guys who have too many resources. Then I expanded here, and this was my first learning of what happens when you expand into somewhere where you have no culture. You realize that you have to convert them, because you get like I think I was getting each year minus like 40 or minus 50 order, like insane number. But once I converted it, it started going positive. It still took me quite a few years to fully control this area without having problems. I was going to conquer them, but then they sort of established quite a strong military force, so I decided to leave them out. Like, I was gonna conquer the city, it belongs to some minor faction, and these guys just took them out. I was like, they're actually quite big, and at the time they had quite even a military force as me, so I didn't want to risk it. So that's the reason these guys are still alive, even though they're sort of on my coast. I am allowing them now, well, not so much allowing, as not bothered to move all my units. I've been focusing a lot on making sure I get a good public order. So I'm keeping my taxes reasonably low. Well, I even lowered taxes, did a lot of taxes exemptions, so I can just conquer all of it. Once this area was secured, I improved my technology so I can get my Hippolyte barracks, I'm not sure about my pronunciations, and started building all my fancy units from there. So rebuild a big army, like 2 squads, and I ventured out here, and I realized how huge the zones are, and these zones are also full of attrition areas. Like, this is a single region. Let's see, can I get a better view actually of it? Okay, so this single region is this big. That's a single region. It's about well, it's almost the size of a province, and that's a single region. This whole province is the size of most 2 to 3 provinces normally. So really huge area, lots of walking. So I sort of captured this one city and realized I can't do anything about culture. So when I captured this, these guys lost territory to the faction which is over here, their capital, and they have another city here. So they lost, I think, this city here, so they decided to move on, and they took over this capital. So rushed in after them, chased them down. This capital had just been sieged, had no defenses left in there. So went in, took it over, destroyed them, chased them down, and I converted culture. Once culture was fully complete, I built up a fleet. So I had like early on like built few ships, but they weren't enough. So I managed to then later on get some dried, well, an earlier version of a dry dock with level 2. This is level 3, and build up this wonderful fleet. Once I had a fleet, I brought my armies to the borders, blockaded the city. This was well defended. They had 3 provinces here. But what happened is, as I got here and prepared to attack, they got attacked by another faction which was here. And that faction took this city and this city. And I attacked them and took this city. So they had nothing left. And I quickly made my way across the ocean. Well, not the ocean, this inland sea. Grabbed this city. As they just finished, they were getting like rebellions after grabbing it due to a bad public order. And I just grabbed it from under their noses. And quickly ran and grabbed this, where they also had some rebellions starting up. So grabbed all this area, and then here some new faction rose up in a city. So they lost the city and all they had left was this. So they're sort of fighting in here. While they were fighting in here, I ran in and just nabbed the city. And as you saw in my first impressions video, I grabbed this and then just obliterated all the army. So that is pretty much for my conquest. I did quite a bit of research. Well, most of it is quite recent, but let's see, where did I focus? Yeah, I think I started my research focusing, was it here? Yeah, I think it was here. So, I got like more taxes. Was it this one? Yeah, it was this one. No, I started with this one. Got myself my province growth to +3. Then I went on and did a bit here. And then started doing some military to get like new military buildings unlocked. I think on here, yeah. I went and I got like all the level 3 unlocked for Hippolyte's barracks, so I can get new units. And I sort of started investing everywhere now, my research, because I've been focusing a lot on research buildings. So if you look, my research rate is 253%. That's because at the moment I got very rich at one point, just through having too little army, meaning my income was crazy high. So because I got so rich, I started like changing my city's designs. So my focus is high food. That's why I got buildings like this. Temple of Poseidon, which gives 6 food, as it's obviously temple aimed towards fishing. And then I started building like libraries and academias. Here's for more food, some inn. And if you look, I'll go to the next one. I'm building another academia. I got lots of shrines of Athena, which increase my research. And like fishes for more food. This is also more of my military one though. So I'm probably gonna drop into negative food, as I only got 1 at the moment produced here. Oh, this needs it. So yeah, we're gonna build another library and an academia later on here. Hopefully I got it. I'm in -2 food. That's not too great. I might build another Temple of Poseidon here, just to get more food. So I've been expanding into research. Like, yes, all these buildings give you more research, but they're only increasing per level by 1%, which is not really worth it. And academia will give you 24%. It'll cost you 12 food, but it'll give you 24% research. So if in each capital you build an academia, I'm not sure how you pronounce it exactly with the spelling. So every time you build one, your research just drastically increases. So if I go here, I'm building academia. Oh, let's build one here. Let's not use up my food. That's my public order here. +6. I think I can afford. Do I need more food? I probably will do. So let's fix my food shortages in time. I don't really like building fishes, as they increase, like high level fishes increase public disorder. So I have expanded all the way to here. Oh, what do I get here? Corruption. Thereby diminishing tax rate is disturbance. I don't care about tax rate. What I want is cultural propaganda.
I have done all you asked.
Good. I'm planning to conquer here, so I want to get my culture in before I start running into there. And my next objective is also conquer these guys. But their province is giant, and if you like see this road, if you steer off it just one bit, you get attrition. That's how horrible this place is. It's just winters, horrible winters. This is like Siberia around here. It's just a hideous place to be. It's like forests, tundras. I'm thinking also going here, but it's also pretty bad, so I decided to leave this for later expansion. So my current plan, if I go to the map, is they got lava. I really want lava, as I haven't seen lava anywhere else. So I'm gonna expand around this coast and establish myself here, and probably go back up here. So I get all around this area. Probably will establish here. I'm at war with a lot of factions in this place, just because when I was allied with Egypt, they declared war on one faction after another in here. These guys are all warmongers. And I ended up being at war, and then Egypt died and I was left at war with all those factions. Which is quite fun. So my current objective is just to improve my research further and expand. The reason I'm not moving out yet, actually I could move out maybe now, because my public order has finally reached 0. It wasn't like minus 50 or something earlier on. I think I'll leave this log here. And I'm not sure how I'm gonna do these videos. I'm probably gonna have several logs linked together. But as this is introduction log, I might do it on its own. And my logs will probably be every few years, so not every turn, but every few turns. Because sometimes I just don't do anything much in a turn. I'm just waiting for things to go and maybe set a few buildings. Okay then,